This is Dan. Dan uses Navy Federal Credit Union to save and invest. Luckily for him, Navy Federal takes the legwork out of managing his money, which gives Dan time to work on other things, like his new auctioneering hobby. If you want to be like Dan, learn about our savings and investment options at NavyFederal.org/save and invest. Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission.
Bidder number 63.
Savings products insured by NCUA. Investment options are available through Navy Federal Investment Services and are not insured by NCUA.
This station. Now I feel great. That's because I increased my fiber intake with the Metamucil 2-week challenge. And I'm still hooked. I just took Metamucil every day for 14 days, and it's really that easy. Metamucil traps and removes the waste that weighs you down, so you feel lighter and more energetic. Now I never want to go back to that heavy feeling. Are you ready for the Metamucil 2-week challenge? For a coupon and daily support, sign up at Metamucil.com today.
Oh, I love family road trips. The wind in my ears.
Good dog.
Treats in my mouth. And peace of mind, knowing we went to Les Schwab for our tires, brakes, and alignment. If we had gone to one of those cheap tire stores that don't offer those services, I'd be a doggone wreck. Like Les Schwab, my family's safety is my first priority. Well, that and treats, obviously.
Swing by or book online. Les Schwab Tires, doing the right thing since 1952.
Did you know a stable home environment increases a child's self-confidence and self-esteem? Here at Better Life Children's Services, we are dedicated to providing a safe, nurturing family environment, giving children the opportunity to fulfill their dreams. You can make the difference by becoming a resource parent. Call us today at 916-641-0661. That's 916-641-0661.
And I'm the girl from that alien movie you watch on demand. Our worlds have been brought together thanks to DirecTV Stream.
Why are you whispering?
Because the alien will hear us.
Maybe let the alien know you can get DirecTV Stream with no annual contract.
He seems pretty excited by that, actually.
Introducing DirecTV Stream, the best of live TV and on demand with no annual contract. Get your TV together at DirecTV.com.
Acquired high-speed internet incompatible device. Content varies by package and location. Restrictions apply.
Love family road trips. The wind in my ears.
Good dog.
Treats in my mouth. And peace of mind, knowing we went to Les Schwab for our tires, brakes, and alignment. If we had gone to one of those cheap tire stores that don't offer those services, I'd be a doggone wreck. Like Les Schwab, my family's safety is my first priority. Well, that and treats, obviously.
Swing by or book online. Les Schwab Tires, doing the right thing since 1952.
Season, your local Rayleigh's or Bel Air. Stretch your dollar even further when you shop the deals in our weekly ad. This week, take home lean and tender USDA choice Rayleigh's boneless untrimmed tri-tip roast, sold in the bag and on sale for only $3.97 a pound. Pair it with a side of fresh green asparagus, on sale for just $1.97 a pound. Find fresh ingredients at fantastic prices, in-store or online at Rayleigh's and Bel Air.
At McDonald's. But luckily for you,
whoa, is that McDonald's?
there's always someone around.
And you got extras?
To help take it off your plate.
Yeah, I like some.
There's a deal for every helping hand at McDonald's. Like our 20-piece Chicken McNuggets for just $5. Or get 40-piece Chicken McNuggets for the whole family. And pair it with an any-size Dr. Pepper for just $1. Price and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer.
But even more time in the rain and mud. In 95, I helped tow your moving trailer. And in 09, it was sparks from me, your chains, dragging behind your truck that accidentally started a wildfire. Spark a change, not a wildfire. Visit SmokeyBear.com. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
The love of football and the love of romance. For the big game, it's go grub or go home. Right now, T-bone steaks, boneless New York steaks, and beef tri-tip roast untrimmed are each $6.99 a pound in the Max Pack. Plus, select Pepsi products are 4 for $10 when you buy 4 with the Save Smart digital offer. And treat your Valentine to breathtaking roses, just $19.99 a dozen. Save Mart. Valley Fresh, Valley Made, Valley Proud.
Cal Spas of Sacramento's truckload sale ends this week. The warehouse is full and ready for fast delivery. Saunas, swim spas, and hot tubs priced to sell. Up to $2,000 off hot tubs, up to $5,000 off swim spas, and $500 off saunas. Look at the savings. Cal Spas is American-made for over 43 years. Awarded industry best by Consumer Affairs. Cal Spas of Sacramento, Highway 50 and Bradshaw.
She probably wouldn't mind getting a little box from Shane Company tied with a burgundy bow. So, be that guy. The one who shows up with a gift that'll take your breath away. Want to say, I love you more every day? We've got the perfect gift for that. Or maybe you just want to say, I've got a crush on you. We've got a gift for that too. Whatever you choose, she'll cherish it forever, and she'll think about you whenever she wears it. With our awesome selection of fine jewelry in every price range, you'll easily find an amazing gift. Necklaces with colorful gemstones, stylish earrings, bracelets, and rings crafted to the highest standards. And don't worry, we'll make it easy for you. Come in or visit us at Shinko.com. Our friendly team of knowledgeable jewelry consultants will help you find the perfect Valentine's Day gift. Let's be real, you can't go wrong with a gift from Shane Company.
Now, do you wonder how we ever knew anything? These days, we now have game-changing internet. Fast, reliable, affordable. I'm Tom Nakashima, and I count on Xfinity for the speed you need at a great price. Perfect for working from home, online learning, check game highlights, and you may have more devices laptops to home security cameras or a smart thermostat. Add in gamers, streamers, video chatters who are all on at the same time. No wonder more people count on Xfinity. Pick a plan that works for you. With speed faster than a gig, you can power a house full of connected devices all at once. Do more of what you love with the fastest in-home Wi-Fi. Get the fast and reliable internet you deserve for $19.99 a month for 12 months at Xfinity. Go to Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today to get started. Restrictions apply. Actual speeds vary and are not guaranteed.
My milkshake brings all the boys to the yard, and they're like, it's better than yours.
Spilled your milkshake? Quick, the quicker picker-upper. Bounty picks up spills quicker. And each sheet is 2 times more absorbent, so you can use less than the leading Ordinary brand. So you can get back to your milkshake.
My milkshake brings all the boys to the yard, and they're like, it's better than yours.
Bounty, the quicker picker-upper.
It shows, and sometimes the only solution is to replace that part with something new. It's true on a championship team, and it's also true with cars. That's why I love eBay Motors. They have all the right parts at the right prices. 122 million of them. That way, you can get the parts you need to make your car a winner. ebaymotors.com. Let's ride.
For your special someone, like 45% off select diamond jewelry, and save on their signature set with fragrance gift sets for him and for her. Best of all, get an extra 20% off Valentine's gifts with your coupon or Macy's card. And Star Rewards members can earn rewards even faster now during Macy's Star Money Bonus Days. Savings off sale and clearance prices. Exclusions apply.
Get in now. New Toyotas are arriving daily. Get amazing plug-free MPG with Toyota's industry-leading 10 hybrids. With less time filling up at the pump, you'll have more time to enjoy the open road. Toyota, let's go places.
This hour of Just Love is in the air on the free iHeart-Radio app. Set the mood for your Valentine with Love Songs Radio, playing the most romantic songs of all time. Feeling nostalgic? Go to Valentine Machine.
Let's get ready to rumble! Welcome to the show. My name is Charlton with Big C Sports in Charleston. Big C Sports coming to you worldwide on the Big C Sports Network, on the #1 network in the United States of America. And Big C Sports has been voted the #1 sports show in the universe. According to Who Loves Sports, that includes me. I want to say, what a great day. Oh my goodness, it is Friday. It is so hot, but it's Friday, beautiful February the 11th, 2022. Come to the porches. Bon Georges, Bitty Bitty Beach here. I love to say welcome to the show. Today's show is sponsored by your Northern California Cadillac dealers. Home of the all-new Cadillac Escalade, the standard of the world. You go by and test drive yours, so tell them Charlton Big C Sports Center, as well as a fleet of Cadillac cars. Also, all around the world, you can follow Big C Sports on 23 podcast applications all over the universe. I do appreciate that. Very proud of that. You can follow Big C Sports on Google, Alexa, Spotify, Speaker, Apple Podcasts, iHeart-Radio Podcast, Castbox Podcast, Deezer Podcast, Podcast Addict, and then number 10, Podchaser. It's a break. I count to 10. Happy Friday, everybody. I learned to count to 10 on a Friday. All fair and nothing more. Trying sometimes it's not as easy as it seems. I also want to say you can follow Big C Sports Podcast on Geo Savon Podcast out of London, England, on Podtail, YouTube, Hubhopper, Stitcher Podcast, Radio Line, Repod Podcast, Luminary Podcast, Listen Notes, Podcast Wise, also Verbal Podcast, and number 23, allfeeds.ai. That's allfeeds.ai, and give that some praise. Come on, y'all, the computers are taking over. You better get it in fast before they take over everything. Oh, Fred, love the war. I really do love bringing Big C Sports Podcast to the universe. You can also follow Big C Sports Podcast streaming on 4 TV platforms all over the universe. You can follow Big C Sports Podcast streaming on Xfinity, Comcast TV, Apple TV, Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, and a lot of smart TVs all over the universe. Really do appreciate that. I love paying homage. You know, it is Super Bowl Sunday coming up right around the corner. And growing up as a young boy, I was always with my family watching the Super Bowl. And it was always kind of a tradition that family would gather around and watch the Super Bowl. And as people grow up, people get off into their own things. But I love paying homage to my family legacy on my mother's side. The matriarch of the family, as I knew growing up, called her a mama, my great-grandmother. She was just a wonderful person. Made sure everybody had lots of love and lots of food in the belly. Really do appreciate how smart she was. Grew her own garden, if that makes sense to you. And then my great-grandfather called him Pop. He was a former Negro League baseball player, also very active in the church, and from his church brethren, known as making the best moonshine in the universe. Let's say, boys, get out of that barn. I really do appreciate that. Make it hit by lightning. That brings back a lot of great memories. But Pop, also a very intelligent man, growing a garden. I mean, let us always go out to the orchard and pick out some fruits and vegetables, saying, boys, I said get the fruit, don't pick off the leaves. If that makes sense to you. My beautiful grandmother called her Medea. Just a wonderful woman, smart, hardworking, industrious. She was a seer. She could actually look at people and tell you a lot of things about that person, what's going to happen in their future as well as their past. Really do appreciate some of the things that she said to me when I was a young boy. Also, my grandfather Hezekiah, another wonderful person. Really do appreciate all the things that are poured into me being who I am today, if that makes sense to you. My beautiful mother, I think the best mother in the history. And this is my opinion of the universe. Think about that. A Head Start program, started a food program to feed people, and also coached Little League Baseball, helping win the Little League Championship of the universe. Give Mama some praise. Come on, y'all. Think about that. A Head Start program, a food program, and help win the Little League Championship of the universe. Give Mama praise. Always stand, rise, and shine. Really do appreciate everything that I've learned from Mama. And then on my father's side of the family, the matriarch of the family, Alberta Curry, my grandmother, just a wonderful, smart businesswoman, helped my grandfather with 2 churches in Oakland, California, and building a 3rd one in Central California. Also, they own 2 service stations in Oakland, California. Really do appreciate. She always had a way to try to keep the family strong. Really do appreciate that. And then my grandfather, Albert Curry, a pastor, ran 2 churches with the help of my grandmother in Oakland, California, built the 3rd one in Central California, and then also had 2 service stations that he ran in Oakland, California. Really do appreciate how smart and how hardworking he worked. And then my father, retired Air Force fighter pilot and chief mechanic, making sure that planes could fly high so we could all stay safe at night. And my beautiful brother Todd, with his bombastic voice, sound like thunder and lightning when Todd would speak. Our favorite movie was Pulp Fiction, and especially when Ben Rames said to Bruce Willis, your butt goes down in the 4th round. That stinking sensation you're feeling, that's pride messing with you. Blip, 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 pride. Really do appreciate that. I think we must have seen that about 50 times. Also love paying homage to my beautiful daughter, Daisy, the most beautiful daughter in the history of the universe. A college graduate with double degrees, with honors, in 3.5 years from a major university. Would help me set up and coaches that come to the West Coast for a Big C Sports, whether it's merchandising or setting up interviews. Really do appreciate that. And then my beautiful son, Malcolm, the most handsome son in the history of the universe. Really do appreciate Malcolm. Very smart, intelligent, hardworking college student. He knows NBA basketball inside and out. Always over it. Sends me information on NBA. I really do appreciate that. I always tell Malcolm, remember the movie Wakanda Forever. Wakanda Forever, always stand strong. And then my partner, Big C, with all of his wealth of knowledge in the past, you gotta believe, you gotta believe, you gotta believe, and give everybody some praise. want to say give everybody praise. I really do love what I'm doing with Big C Sports Podcast. And again, these words go back to my great-grandfather with his church buddies. I think somebody stole it, sis, but it says, let's get ready to rumble! As I say, welcome to the show. ESPY-nominated Big C Sports Podcast. No scripts, no three-man teleprompters, no producer in my ear, and no sacrifices. I honor God in everything that I do. I walk and talk by faith and not by sight. I always produce the show. I direct the topics. I broadcast the shows. I do the sound effects based on what's provided by the platform. Everybody needs a little bit more laughter in their life, if that makes sense to you. And then the commercials are done, the stats providing, the storytelling, and what we may hear coming up on Super Bowl 56 out of Southern California. It's just my prediction. I really don't know who's going to win this game. And of course, if I knew, then I would have already put a lot of money in it. But since I don't bet, I still feel we'll find something like this up to the line of scrimmage. Matthew Stafford with 4 wide outs. The Bengals 5-man front. The snap, the blitz. Stafford rolling to his right. Throws downfield and it's caught for the touchdown. Touchdown! Rams! Cooper Kupp, 50 yards. I think it's going to go a lot to Cooper Kupp in this game because he's a guy that doesn't drop anything. I mean, he just has great hands all over him. One of the leading receivers that the Rams have had since the great days of this greatest show on turf, Isaac Bruce and those good old boys, Torrey Hill. I still go back to the days of Henry Elliott when he was doing his thing out of Fresno State, and then I upload the platform. It goes out to 23 multiple podcast platforms all over the world. I mean, I really do appreciate that, and it's just growing by leaps and bounds. And then I never missed a show since starting Big C Sports back on September 12th, 2015. It was a crew of us that started it with Salem Media. Really do appreciate that. Never missed a show. And then what I love about Big C Sports is when I was growing up, I heard a lot of God talk in the house, a lot of Bible talk and studying math and science. But then one of the greatest verses that I heard came out of my household in Genesis 13:15, and it says, "For all the land that thou seest will I give you, and thy seed forever." And I really appreciate that. And the book of James, chapter 4, verse 2 said, "You have not because you ask not." If you want something, just ask and give the Bible some praise. Come on, give it praise, praise, praise. You gotta always ask for something. If you don't ask, the answer's always no. If you ask, sometimes the answer's no. But you got a chance to have the answer be yes. If you want something, just ask. At the same time, I really want to say thank you to Xfinity Comcast TV and Comcast Spotlight Effect TV for presenting Big C Sports to the universe. Just like in Genesis 1:3, God said, "Let there be light." Open your cell phones or electronic devices and say, "Play Big C Sports Podcast," and you will see it pop up all over the world. And that's interesting to me because so many years of my lifetime that was not there. I just wanted and wished and hoped and prayed that it would come up, and now that it's here, I really do appreciate the growth having with Big C Sports Podcast and just the things that are going to happen in 2022. And I always encourage people when we talk about all the opportunities with name, image, and likeness, and down in the media row for Super Bowl Sunday, you have a lot of media that are gathered all over the world to focus on the athletes. That's been part of why sports is a billion-dollar industry. It's the athletes that make it possible. But if you look at Forbes' top over the last decade, the Forbes sports agents, when you look at sports agents in Forbes magazine in 2021, the top sports agents, they generated contracts totaling over $41.2 billion. That's a lot of money representing athletes. And athletes come and go. You get a knee injury here or a back injury there. Next thing you know, you're out. And then they're going to help you heal up. Or if you get concussed and you just can't function, your playing days could be over. But I've never heard of a sports agent or a sports marketing agent getting concussed. Never heard of that. I never heard of a sports agent or a sports marketing agent having to end their career because they tore their ACL. I never heard of it. But they're the ones who put together contracts that make it possible for the athletes to go on and make the money that they're making. So Big C Sports being invited into that industry, just got to finish my certification. That will happen in 2022, and I really do appreciate that. Some of the most powerful sportsmen in the sports business, they're not athletes, they're agents. In fact, the top sports agency in 2021 made over, when you think about the numbers, it's phenomenal, $160 million by one agency. representing athletes. And so when I hear about people saying they can't find work in the NFL and they can't get jobs as coaches, that's something that Big C Sports is getting into. I was invited into it. And I think about something I did in the past. In 2018, I did a TV program with some sports agents, also gentlemen involved in the NFL Hall of Fame golf tournament over in Napa, a sports doctor. There was also a gentleman who was part of the Olympics in Tokyo, Japan, last 2021. It's amazing how August Wesley was able to do the Olympics broadcast on Big C Sports last summer. I met him through a former agent that he worked with a lot of the Oakland Raiders back in the day. Met him at a sports bar just because of doing the show Big C Sports. So you never know who you meet at times. God opens doors for you. You got to walk through them. But I will be certified as a sports marketing agent this year in 2022. And my goal is to work with some of the top athletes in the world and representing them. And I thought, just like anything else, how did I get into broadcast? It's in my spirit. I love the sports business. And someone saw that I could do it and said, you should do it. And the same thing with this business, with sports marketing agencies. You know agents anyway. I've talked to athletes all my life and oftentimes interviewing them, asking them, how did they get what they got? And their agents would do it. I remember at a 49er game just this past season, talking to some former 49er players, and there was somebody saying, hey, man, how can I come on your show? How can I come on your show? And I give my number, and they say, hey, but my agent will call you. Like, it's okay. It doesn't matter if your agent calls me or not. I really don't do interviews. It's very rare that I do. But the fact of the matter is, there are often times where agents can get things done for people, and they will vet people for you. And I've had some of the top agents in the world that have been part of Big C Sports off the program and some on the program. So I really do appreciate that. There's a world for black men. You think we're always talking about how to get a job in NFL coaching, how to coach a team to make $4 million and get fired after 2 years, or maybe 3 with a winning record. And there's sports agents, sports marketing agents, one of the top black men in the country that's a sports marketing agent, made over $46 million in 2021. $46 million. He didn't score a touchdown. He didn't hit a home run. He didn't hit a three-point play. He didn't do touchdown, home run, three-point play. He just helped negotiate contracts. Isn't that something? And I'm being pulled into that same arena, and I really do appreciate that when people notice, and I'm open to the opportunity. Like in the good book it says, the land that thou seest will I give you. That's the book of Genesis chapter 13, verse 15. It's amazing. I just want to catapult on this. All my life, and all the life of everybody that listens, if you look around you right now, every single thing in your life, everything, at one time it was just a thought. Every single thing. And I've been, for anyone that can attest, I believe in putting myself out there so that no matter what I say, the universe can hear it. I've been saying Genesis 13:15, for all the land that thou seest will I give you, and I see forever. I've been saying that for about a year now. And now I've been getting more involved in the sports industry, and it's been pulling me in also, if that makes sense to you. I haven't had to do anything other than just keep showing up and doing what I'm doing with Big C Sports. That's why I really wanted to be a platform for other young men to go out there and speak your dreams. And when you speak them, make sure that you speak your dreams into the universe, because God is listening and the universe is listening. It always listens. I also want to make sure that I thank the California Lottery and the California Powerball and Super Lotto and Mega Millions. I'm going to win that lottery someday. I've been telling this for a long time. I say I am going to win that lottery. I know I will. I won before. I'm going to win again. But I also thank the California Powerball and the Mega Millions and Super Lotto, Fantasy 5. But people are betting big money on the Super Bowl 56, coming up on Sunday down at beautiful Southern California, where it's going to be about 80 degrees, 75 to 80 degrees over in Inglewood. And when you think about gambling, some people put more on the line than they should. I even heard of, I think the guy's name is Drake, supposedly bet $1 million. Well, that's nothing. He when Drake said he bet $1 million, he probably pulled it out of his sofa. It's not like the average guy that goes down and has to liquidate some things to get the $1 million. He probably pulled it out of his sofa. But be careful, because not everybody has money like Drake. If you have issues, or you know somebody else does, with gambling, Coach Mariucci, former coach of the 49ers, has a commercial, kind of a PSA, and now he's in broadcast with NFL Network. But he talks about, if you know anyone in trouble, pick up the phone and call 800-GAMBLER. That's 800-GAMBLER, GAMBLER, and you can get some help. I know everybody has their own thought about it. You can't tell me what to do with my money. But there's also people who are in trouble because they have an addiction to it. And with the Supreme Court, you know, they made it legal for most states in 2018 to gamble now. So people, keep in mind, not everybody can handle it. Sometimes people get it over their head, just like drinking and driving. If there's a number out there and help 800-GAMBLER. I also want to say what is near and dear to my heart. Man, the Veterans Crisis Hotline, they really are experienced helping veterans and their loved ones get help. If you know anyone going through issues, most of my family are service people that serve this great country. But if you know anyone going through issues, call the Veterans Crisis Hotline, 800-273-8255. That's 800-273-8255. They will stand on their head to make sure you get help. Also, you can text 838-255. That's 838-255. If you're online, simply go to veteranscrisisline.net. That's veteranscrisisline.net, and help our veterans get some help. Give that some praise. Come on, y'all. Give it praise. Because first responders do a lot to help people when they make the call. I also want to say thank you to Budweiser Zero. It has 0% alcohol, 100% honest game. Sports fans, when you're watching the big game, when you're watching Super Bowl 56, you want to eat the Big C Burger. It's a tasty burger, and it comes with, what's all this exotic meat? And a ram and a Bengal tiger are exotic meat, last I checked. You know, I love saying that. Also, if you want to stay up to watch the big game, you want to have the Big C coffee, because the best part of waking up is Big C in your cup, and it only comes in one size, extra large. Why does the cup have to be so big? Like SoFi Stadium. Jerry Jones said to the Kroenke family, why does the stadium have to be so big? It only comes in one size, extra large. That is a big stadium. It's a beautiful stadium in Southern California, not far from the Forum. The Lakers with Showtime had the Forum, and now the Los Angeles Rams, they have beautiful SoFi Stadium, all fair and love and war. So when I come back, I'm going to talk more about my thoughts on Super Bowl 55 and even give out a prediction. And this is a hard game to pick. On paper, it looks like the Rams could run away with it by maybe even, I'd say, a good touchdown. That's not really run away, is it? A touchdown? Maybe. Okay, the Rams could probably win by 10. But they haven't beaten anybody by 10 in the playoffs. They jumped on Arizona, and they had to hold on to beat Tampa, and then they had to come from behind to beat the 49ers. So which team will show up? The one that put 27 points on the board against Tampa on the road, or the team that struggled and had 7 points going into the fourth quarter against the 49ers? I don't know. Which Bengals team will show up? Will it be the one that had to hold on to beat the Raiders? Will it be the one that had to have 3 interceptions to beat the Tennessee Titans? Or will it be the one that had to have Patrick Mahomes have his worst playoff game ever to come back and beat them? Who knows? We have no idea, but we will find out. We're going to take what's called the Big C pause, also known as the Big C timeout, in the words of former California Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger, the Terminator. I'll be back. All right, we're back for the Big C pause, also known as the Big C timeout. You can follow Big C Sports 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on 23 podcast applications all over the universe, and streaming on 4 TV applications. Really do appreciate that. The girls at Big C Sports, the land that thou seest will I give you. I also want to say for touchdown, Aaron Rodgers has his back-to-back MVP, wins the NFL MVP for the 2nd consecutive season. I believe that's the 4th time he's done it. The NFL held their annual award show hosted by Keegan-Michael Key on Thursday at the YouTube Theater and SoFi Entertainment District in Inglewood, California, right by the site of Super Bowl 56. You have the Rams 13. I hope I didn't give it away. You have the Rams 12-5. 12-5, looking to go 13-5. They're going to play the Cincinnati Bengals that are 10-7 and looking to go 11-7 at SoFi Stadium on Sunday, 6:30 p.m. East Coast time on NBC Sports. And when you think about it, touchdown Aaron Rodgers got the back-to-back MVP. I remember interviewing Aaron Rodgers when they beat the 49ers in San Francisco. It was a late drive with 37 seconds left. And now he has, let me see, 37 seconds left on the clock, right? 37 seconds left. Let me shut up. Anyway, 37 seconds left, and they were able to get that win and went on to the playoffs where the 49ers avenged them with a win in the playoffs, 13-10 win in Green Bay. But Aaron Rodgers, a lot of people felt, why did he get the MVP? He led the Packers to a 13-4 record, the number one seed in the NFC playoffs, before being upset by the San Francisco 49ers in the divisional round of the playoffs. He edged out the recently retired touchdown Tom Brady, retired for now, before he comes back and plays for the 49ers to have his childhood dream fulfilled, maybe. And then Tom Brady and several others were honored also. But Aaron Rodgers, touchdown Aaron Rodgers, he wasn't the only player to be honored Thursday as the NFL's Offensive and Defensive Players of the Year, the Offensive and Defensive Rookies of the Year, the Coach of the Year, and the Comeback Player of the Year were also named on Thursday. And when you think about touchdown Aaron Rodgers, it's amazing that 2 years in a row they were the home favorite in the NFC. And they got knocked out at home at Lambeau Field where they're supposed to have the advantage. He threw 37 touchdown passes, only 4 interceptions, and leading the Packers to a 13-4 record. And when you think about what he's done for the Green Bay Packers, it's amazing. Didn't have his career best 48 touchdown passes from the year before. He actually bettered his interception numbers. He threw just 4 interceptions in 2021. That was 1 fewer than in 2020. You think about what he's done in 2 years. He's only thrown 9 interceptions in 2 seasons. There's some guys that threw that many in 1 year, in half the season, and one's playing in the Super Bowl. It makes sense to you? I think Burrow is one of the top 3 in the NFL in interceptions, but I'll get into that later. But 37 touchdown passers, had the best touchdown to interception ratio, 9-3. And for anyone who says, well, why was he the MVP? He's consistent, and he earned it. It could go to anybody. But when you think about it, he went 3 years between his first MVP in 2011 and his second MVP in 2014, and 6 years before his third in 2020, and then now in 2021. Only has 1 Super Bowl to show for it. All's fair in love and war. There's another player that I previewed in the highlight opening of today's show, the great touchdown Cooper Kupp out of Eastern Washington, I believe. And that good old boy, a wide receiver for the LA Rams, put together one of the most productive seasons by a pass catcher in NFL history. You think of Sir Isaac Bruce, Torrey Holt, and, of course, the great Henry Ellert. The Rams have had some great receivers over the years, becoming only the 4th player in the Super Bowl era to win the NFL's Triple Crown. And that feat put him in the company of a pair of Hall of Famers like touchdown Jerry Rice. The history of the NFL will never catch Jerry Rice, no matter how many times people throw the ball to him. Jerry Rice, amazing. And then the great Sterling Sharp in 1992, as well as Steve Smith in 2005. You have the great Cooper Kupp, accomplished comfortably his 145 catches, led the league by 22 receptions, 1,947 receiving yards, were tops by 331 yards, and 16 touchdown catches, were 2 more than anyone else in the league. He's not big and strong and fast, but he knows how to get open, and that's all that matters. And when he gets open, he normally makes a good catch. He doesn't drop a lot of passes. He has a great teammate in Robert Wood, who suffered a season-ending knee injury in November, and that helped Kupp become more of the leading target, even though Odell Beckham Jr. has stepped right up quite admirably and filled in for the Rams passing game. You got to look at what Cooper Kupp did. He led the league in targets by 192 by a wide margin, ranked 5th among wide receivers in catch rate, caught 76% of the time the pass was thrown to him. A 5th receiver has kept up his production in the playoffs, had the 44-yard reception that set up the game-winning field goal in the divisional round on the road, and that was at Tampa Bay. It's just an amazing player. Not big, not fast, but he sure gets open. T.J. Watt, outside linebacker for the Pittsburgh Steelers. That's Steel Curtain Part 2. Missing 2 full games and part of several others due to injury, Watt finally captured his first Defensive Player of the Year award after capping off an historic season with 22.5 sacks, tying the great Michael Strahan in 2002 for the single-season sack record. It's just amazing how many athletes are out there doing their things. When you think about it, this guy even sacked Lamar Jackson 3.5 times. Isn't that something? It's hard to sack Lamar Jackson, but it's all fair and level war. There's another great receiver that's up for some awards. Jamar Chase, wide receiver, Cincinnati Bengals. Not a big surprise. The Bengals drafted Chase, the 5th overall pick, said he wanted to break all of Cincinnati's team records. And sure enough, he turned in maybe one of the best seasons by a wide receiver in franchise history, set Cincinnati's team record for most receiving yards in a single game with 266 in a single game, 1,455 yards, caught 81 receptions for 18 yards per reception. That's amazing. He became the first Cincinnati Bengals player to have multiple 200-yard games in the same season and blasted through Justin Jefferson's record for most receiving yards by a rookie in the Super Bowl era. The former LSU standout is also the first rookie to have multiple 100-yard games in a single season, postseason games. Cincinnati's a great downfield threat because of him. On the defensive side of the ball, they say defense wins championships. Defensive Rookie of the Year, this guy's legit. Michael Parsons not only had 13 sacks as a rookie, but was a key part of the Cowboys' pass coverage as well. Michael Parsons, Dallas Cowboys. How about them Cowboys? Well, Parsons is the first Cowboy to win Defensive Rookie of the Year after a season that saw him set the team's rookie record with 13 sacks, which was third most by a rookie since sacks became an official stat in 1982. When you think about how good Parsons is, the Cowboys' first-round pick credited with 84 tackles, 64 were solo. He doesn't need a lot of help. How about them Cowboys? He forced 3 fumbles and 3 pass deflections. The team credited Parsons with 12 tackles for loss, 42 quarterback pressures, as well as his 901 snaps credited him by the team. He lined up as a linebacker 498 times, as a defensive lineman 374 times. Remind me a lot of like a young Lawrence Taylor. That's how I look at him. But Dan Quinn was able to create mismatches and help the Cowboys go from allowing the most points in franchise history in 2020, 473 points, to the league leading takeaways 34. And Parsons was named to the Pro Bowl and became the first rookie defender in team history to be named first team All-Pro. 2016 touchdown Dak Prescott was named NFL's Offensive Rookie of the Year. Dallas is loaded for next year. And then you have the Comeback Player of the Year. They have Comeback Player of the Year also playing in Super Bowl 56. That's none other than touchdown Joe Burrow, Cincinnati Bengals. When you think about Burrow, earned the Comeback Player of the Year after a strong second season. He bounced back from a knee injury that ended his rookie season to lead the Bengals to their first playoff berth since 2015. And even more remarkable, Burrow did not miss any time after tearing his ACL and MCL November 22nd, 2020 against Washington. He was there from the beginning of the offseason and OTAs and fully cleared from the start of training camp. Completed 70% of his passes, 4,611 yards, 34 touchdowns, and 14 interceptions. Even though he's been shaky at times, he's also calm under pressure. And then the why, and not knocking it, but Mike Vrabel, the Tennessee Titans, managed to finish as the top seed in the AFC despite having suited up for an NFL record 91 different players on game day this season. It's amazing. Think about some of the players he had to go without. Derrick Henry, Julio Jones, A.J. Brown, Bud Dupree. They lost Henry in Week 8. That could have set the Tigers on a downward spiral, but they rebounded well and got the home field advantage, but it didn't help them. Isn't that something? Last year, you had the Green Bay Packers with home field advantage. They got knocked out at home. This year, Tennessee, home field advantage, knocked out at home. Also, Green Bay, home field advantage, knocked out at home. Isn't that something? You got to be able to go on the road to win in the NFL. So I love the fact that these players have gotten some attention and gotten some praise. I want to give them all some praise for winning the awards. You deserved it. Everybody says, well, it could have been this person or it could have been another person. But if you're on that list, that means you're balling out, and that's all that matters, if that makes sense to you. And now, as we come to the thought of who's going to win Super Bowl 56, what a beautiful stadium. In Southern California, there's so many things you got to think about when it comes to this team. I really think it has the potential to be one of the best Super Bowls ever. Everybody can say that. Last year, we thought the same thing. We thought that, media thought that Kansas City would blow out the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but it was a different story. They didn't have an offensive line. They were all depleted. But this year, 2022, Super Bowl is here in a couple more days. I don't bet. I know a lot of people do. Super Bowl Sunday is one of the biggest stages you'll ever find. Even with the halftime awards, I think there's the people who won awards, whether Snoop Dogg, Mary J. Blige, or Dr. Dre, Eminem, I think combined, there's like 43 awards that they've won. And I'm not going to, everybody gets into their own form of entertainment, but it is what it is. But then you think about, this Super Bowl should be amazing. LA is a great place. The weather's going to be about 80 degrees. I know it's cold on many parts of the country, especially on the East Coast. But when you think about the Super Bowl matchup that features two former number one overall quarterbacks facing off as Sean McVay versus his former quarterback's coach and Zach Taylor, and touchdown Joe Burrow versus touchdown Matthew Stafford, Jamar Chase and Jalen Ramsey, it's about who's going to make the big-time plays. Big-time players make big-time plays. So I love the matchups. I think the defenses can win championships, but these offensive players, they make noise also. And I don't know how Las Vegas comes to their conclusion, but I do know one thing for sure. It is kickoff time set for Sunday, February 13th, 6:30 p.m. East Coast time at SoFi Stadium, Inglewood, California on NBC Sports. You can also stream it on Fubo TV, and that's for free. And the Rams right now, the point spread has been bouncing around between 3.5 and 4. But they're a 4-point favorite in this game. The over-under in this game is 48.5. Will it go over 50? I think it's a game where we can see over 50 points scored. So I think the over-under is going to go over because these teams are going to come out throwing the football. You don't get Matthew Stafford to hand off the football, and you don't have touchdown Joe Burrow to hand off the football. These guys are going to throw the football to give their teams a chance to win. I think the Rams and the Bengals spread, the key to this game is going to be how the Bengals handle that Rams Hall of Fame defensive front and how they block Aaron Donald. We know they're going to double team him. And then Von Miller. These guys will be in the Hall of Fame. You also got Leonard Floyd. Von Miller was Super Bowl 50 MVP. He's the one who got the Cam Newton, who was at that time the MVP of the NFL. Well, I think this guy's going to have another great game. Denver let him go, but he ended up in a great spot to be with the LA Rams. Their defense flies around and make a lot of plays. If you look at how the Rams closed out against the 49ers going down, they were down 17-7 going into the fourth quarter. And from there, they started blitzing Jimmy G. Shanahan stopped running the ball. That was his mistake. But they got to Jimmy G with a lot of pressure. They were not sitting back and trying to read zone. They were going after him, forcing bad passes and interceptions. They're going to do the same thing to touchdown Joe Burrow. They have to. They can't sit back and let him read the defense. You don't have a lot of time to throw against that team. And so I think the Rams, I know some prop bets are out there. What about the sack total? I think they're going to get 5 sacks on him, on Burrow. They're going to get to him 5 times. I think the Bengals had a bad offensive line coming into this game. They held up okay against Kansas City. Kansas City got to him a couple of times too. They just didn't wrap him up like they were trying to play flag football, if that makes sense to you. Now, Tennessee, they got to him 9 times. The Rams going to get to him at least 5. At least 5 times because they're going to turn up the heat on him. They got to. And that's going to make, I think, touchdown Joe Burrow have to throw deep and get the ball out of his hands fast. You're going to have to do that. You're going to have a lot of quick throws, something Burrow did in the second half against Kansas City in the AFC Championship game. And I think that's going to give them a better chance to come back and maybe win this game in the end. If they do, it is the year of the Tiger, Chinese Junior. Now, the Bengals and Burrow, they operate well in the quick game out of the empty set. You got to have empty set against the Rams. If you're going to get rid of it fast. If you have empty sets, there's no pass blockers, no running backs in the backfield to block that blitzing linebacker, and that would be Mixon. They're going to get him out in the flat. So he has, instead of 1, 2, 3 pass, it's going to be 1,001, 1,002 pass. You don't have 1,001 or what touchdown Patrick Mahomes did last week or in the AFC Championship game. 1,001, 1,002, 1,003, 1,004, 1,005 sack. That was crazy. Never seen him play that horribly in his career. Doesn't make any sense. That's the only reason Kansas City's not here. It took Burrow having a good game and Mahomes having his worst game. That's my opinion. But you got to have these defenses getting after each other. And the Chiefs didn't do enough to touch down Joe Burrow. Now the Rams, they're going to get theirs. The Bengals defense played well against Patrick Mahomes, dropping 8 and changing up their look. So if you're dropping 8, why didn't Patrick Mahomes take off and scramble more? He was running around sideline to sideline. That game still makes me stuck. Like, what in the world? Long story short, I think Matthew Stafford, he's a stop back and throw deep kind of quarterback. Whether you have Cooper Kupp or Odell Beckham Jr., they have some good speedy targets, but you get it. They can go yards after the catch, 5 and 10 yard outs. They may also stretch the field and throw 30 and 40 yard passes. But Jaquiski Tartt for the 49ers dropping that interception is the reason the Rams are here. You don't have to always try to throw 40 yards downfield or 50. Jerry Rice made a living on 10 and 15 yard outs and getting yards after the catch. But the difference is the Rams will run the ball against that look, and they're going to use Cam Akers if he holds on to the ball, and Sonny Michel to move the ball downfield if that's what the Bengals decide to do. And then Stafford will hit his shots downfield on play-action passes. But again, they did not bring in Stafford to Los Angeles to hand off the ball. But if the defense is going to drop 8, you're going to run the ball. And then they'll have to bring him up. I remember the 49ers, they didn't blitz a lot. They would drop their linebackers. And they had some success against the Rams until the fourth quarter. They kept getting tired because Shanahan kept passing the ball, going 3 downs and out. One time had a possession of 23 seconds, 3 incomplete passes. Doesn't make any sense. But there's a lot of points in this one. I think both teams can get over the 25-point mark. And maybe, I think they're going to go over 50. The over-under is 48.5. I think these teams can get over 50. If you're looking at it, it's probably going to take 30 points to win this Super Bowl. I was wrong against the 49ers. I wasn't really wrong. I was right up until the third quarter was over. They had the lead 17-7, and I said the 49ers run the ball 35 to 40 times a game. They're 19-0, but they only had 21 rushes in the Super Bowl. In the NFC Championship game because they panicked and their defense got tired. These two teams, they're going to throw the football. This is built about Joe Burrow versus Matthew Stafford. It's not about the running games. It's not about Akers versus Mixon. So you're going to have these quarterbacks stepping back and throwing the ball deep downfield, trying to get their groove on. I think when you look at what we've seen for Cincinnati, they count on their opponents to make mistakes. Matthew Stafford may throw an interception, and Burrow may throw an interception. But they have receivers that can make plays also. So before you make the Rams and Bengals picks, you gotta pay attention to how well they block the front line. And the line blocking is going to be a big contributor. If the Rams win, you don't need to give Stafford as much time as you need to give Burrow. Why? Because Cooper Kupp and Odell Beckham Jr., they catch a lot of passes in under 20 yards, and they go get yards after the catch. If you look at a lot of what Chase does, Jamar Chase, they like to throw deep. So deep, put your butt to sleep, the great Ice Cube. They like to go deep. But you don't have a lot of time going deep against the Rams, bringing 5 at you all the time. But I like this game. I loved even the color contrast. The Bengals are wearing their black jerseys. The Rams have their home white jerseys. I think they're wearing their gold or yellow pants. And the Bengals should come out in all black. That would be amazing with the orange helmets. It's the year of the Tiger. But I think they're going to wear the white pants, black jerseys, and the orange helmets. But it should be just for the color scheme. The Rams horns on the helmet, the blue helmets with the gold horns, and then the orange helmets with the black stripes, like to the days of the Ickey Woods Shuffle. I'm excited about this game. I'm looking forward to a great game. I think it feels like, as great as the Rams are, It feels like the greatest show on turf. And the New England Patriots, when I think the Patriots were 14-point underdogs, 9/11 had just happened. Bob Kraft said, "We are all Patriots." And the Patriots came out of the tunnel in unison. They didn't announce one player at a time. They all came out holding hands. And at the end of that game, it was Adam Vinatieri kicked the field goal that took the Rams down in that game. In a game where a lot of the Rams players down in New Orleans, they were all partying. They were partying too much. Will they party at home in L.A.? Will they have too many distractions being the home team? Is that the team that we're going to see that parties too much going into Super Bowl 56? Or will they stay sequestered in a hotel room just studying film? This is the biggest game they've ever had. The Rams Super Bowls, I remember they played a game in L.A. before in Pasadena. They lost to the Pittsburgh Steelers. They also had the game where they played and they beat the Tennessee Titans, and also where they lost to the New England Patriots. And so now they lost to the Patriots twice, actually. But they're home now in a brand new stadium. They've given everything. They got every opportunity to say, this is why we put all our chips on the table. They put them all on the table. And then you have a team coming in. There's a guy by the name of Billy Cannon that also came out of LSU. Would you believe? Think about this. I think they played the Houston Oilers at that time. Also had a game against the Raiders. And had a game against the Kansas City Chiefs. And he was a Tiger. And touchdown Joe Burrow is a Tiger. Something about the year of the Tiger. The eye of the Tiger. Remember that song? The eye of the Tiger. So the Rams on paper should win. California love. They even have some of California's greatest rap stars performing at halftime. They'll get standing ovation, whether it's Snoop Dogg or Dr. Dre, Eminem, Mary J. Blige supposed to perform. I may be wrong about the next. There's another great performer, but I'm not going to get into everybody's name. But it has everything lined up to be a great Super Bowl. It really does. I know everybody wants to see who's going to win the game and how many people are betting money on the game. Super Bowls are a national holiday. It's kind of a national pastime. But if the Rams are going to win, I think the Rams just have to do what they're good at doing. When they got desperate, they kept throwing the ball. They threw the ball. They threw the ball. They threw the ball. And they came back and they caught the 49ers. And they got to play desperate. If you look at what happened when they beat up on Arizona to start the playoffs, they played desperate football. When they went across the country and beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the defending Super Bowl champion Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they played desperate football. And they went for it. And they had some turnovers in the Tampa Bay, got back in the game. And what happened again? Stafford downfield to Cooper Kupp and put them in field goal range. They got to play like they're playing from behind. And I think they will. Again, they brought out Matthew Stafford to throw the ball, not hand it off. So they're going to get their points. Can Cincinnati hang in there? No one expected them to beat Tennessee on the road. They got sacked 9 times. The defense got 3 turnovers against Tannehill. Stafford's a better quarterback than Tannehill is. No one expected them to beat the Chiefs. They were down 21-3 to Kansas City. And then I think shenanigans happened in the second half, but that's my opinion. But here they are now. They stopped touchdown Patrick Mahomes. At home. They've been winning on the road. They're away from all the distractions. People wanting more tickets. All the jazz. Plus, there's supposed to be some shenanigans about some type of protest down in Los Angeles with truckers. I won't get too much into that. But there's a lot of distractions in Los Angeles. This team from Cincinnati, are they going to Disneyland? Maybe. But they also have a chance to just stay focused. They don't have a lot of time to go back home and get relaxed and interact with people who might get them distracted. I think they're focused. And in my mind, the Rams should win. But I know it's the year of the Tiger. And the NFL is about tradition. I have no idea. Will Matthew Stafford, in his 13th year, take the Rams to the 13th win this year? They should. But stranger things have happened. All I know for sure, it's a beautiful stadium, SoFi Stadium, in Southern California. And when you look at the Rams, it's not a traditional home game for the Rams. When you think about it, they're the visiting team. But the fact that played at SoFi Stadium, they should play to their advantage. They are 7-3 straight up at home this year, including playoffs. And they are just 500 against the spread at SoFi Stadium. They have an average margin of victory of 7.3 points. And that would get us comfortably over the spread. I think it's going to go over 50. They have the over-under at 48. But I know it's the year of the Tiger. That's the only thing that's bizarre, is the eye of the Tiger. And stranger things have happened. The Rams have let it get away before, and there's no reason for Cincinnati to even be here. And I heard that the mayors of each town know each other. Garcetti out of Los Angeles, and there's another mayor from Cincinnati. They had a thing going on also about who's going to win. But to me, I just want to see good football. I love the fact that football is amazing. Sports can bring our country together. And I'm going to just say, whoever wins Super Bowl 56, you get the Big C burger. It's a tasty burger, and it comes with all this exotic meat. And a single tiger and a ram are exotic meat. That makes sense to you. The winner also gets the Big C coffee. It's a big coffee. It comes in one size, extra large. Watch your cup gotta be so big. I want to pull for the California team because California love. But at the same time, they say it's the year of the Tiger. So I'm going to let the future will be what it is. And may the best team win. And may the best team win Super Bowl 56. All fair. In other words, we're going to take what's called the Big C pause, also known as the Big C timeout. When I come back, I'm going to hit a real quick on some NBA basketball. Us all fair in level world. We'll be back in just a moment. All right, we're back from the Big C pause, also known as the Big C timeout. You can follow Big C Sports 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on 23 podcast applications all over the universe and streaming on 4 TV applications. As we hear, let's get ready to rumble! UFC 271. Israel Adesanya, the best in the world of his division, takes on number one contender Robert Whittaker down in H-Town in Houston. That goes down on Saturday, February 12th at the Toyota Center in Houston, Texas. The reigning UFC middleweight champion Israel Adesanya defends his 185 pound. Man, that good old boy can do his thing in the MMA and the octagon. Robert Whittaker is trying to come strong with it, but I think Adesanya, if he fights the way he normally does, then he should go ahead and win that fight. All's fair in love and war. I love, as much as I love UFC, it has kind of a prelude into Super Bowl 56. Super Bowl 56, all fair and love and war. Also, for NBA action, NBA basketball, I know we had a lot of trades happen yesterday, whether it's going to be Philadelphia or Brooklyn that has the best of it. I still think Miami has a lot to say, as well as defending NBA champion Milwaukee Bucks. They got knocked out by the Phoenix Suns. But tonight, Saturdays, actually I'm going to get into tonight's schedule. Friday, February the 11th, the NBA games. A couple of good games on schedule, even though everybody's waiting for a Super Bowl Sunday. But you have Friday tonight, Charlotte at Detroit. You have Cleveland at Indiana, Oklahoma City. Actually, the Oklahoma City Thunder. The Oklahoma City Thunder. Them good old boys are taking on the Philadelphia 76ers. Denver is at Boston. San Antonio is at Atlanta. Minnesota will take on Chicago. And Orlando will take on the Utah Jazz. There's a lot of action taking place on Saturday. The one that I'm really interested in Saturday is the Los Angeles Lakers at the Golden State Warriors at beautiful Chase Center in downtown San Francisco. It has a lot on the line, more so for the Warriors than it does for the Lakers, but it is California, Northern California versus Southern California. Orlando's playing at Phoenix. Oklahoma City's going to play at Chicago. The LA Clippers are at Dallas. Brooklyn's at Miami. Denver's at Toronto. You have Cleveland. This is for you. They're at Philadelphia. San Antonio will play at New Orleans. Sacramento Kings at Washington. Memphis will play at Charlotte. And the New York Knickerbockers up in the Great Northwest taking on the Portland Trail Blazers. What a great scene. Southern California, Super Bowl 56. And so many people are saying it's the year of the Tiger. Could it also be the year of the Ram? The Rams have gotten here. When you look at McVay, this is his second Super Bowl in 4 seasons. And this is a guy who's done it with different quarterbacks. And he's in the same place. The Super Bowl. Will the Rams get too much interference from the locals in LA? where they get caught up in all the partying in LA, and all the LA's about movie stars and superstars. There's movie stars galore in Los Angeles. You can walk around any block and see movie stars, but they're just people. But they show up because they want to be around winners. And the Rams right now, they're winners. These are the same people that would go to Staples Center or now it's Crypto.com arena, and they will show up. The stars will show up in LA because they want to be seen as part of publicity. But Cincinnati, they don't have that star-studded mentality where they see movie stars everywhere they go. And that's the only thing that maybe makes me think the Rams might be partying too hard. But there's a lot of local confusion. People want to be a part of everything, want to get autographs and be a part of the team and be part of the who's who of LA. And that's the only thing that might catch the Rams sleeping, if that makes sense to you. If they come out and do what they said to Star Trek, fire everything, the Stars have been apprised, I think they'll be okay. But I know it's the year of the Tiger. Who knows? This one, I'm just looking for the best one, and may the best team win. Back in the day, there's a man by the name of Drew Bodini Brown. He was known as Muhammad Ali's right-hand man, and he would always tell Ali, you float like a butterfly, you sting like a bee, you rumble, young man, rumble. With all you've got to use, how can you lose? Ali would say, I'm so pretty, I can't possibly be beat. All these big C burgers make me light on my feet. That's why I float like a butterfly and sting like a bee. And that big C cup of coffee comes in one size extra large. That's why I'm always rumbling and dancing on my toes because it makes me want to go to the bathroom. I look forward to a great Super Bowl. My beautiful mother always says there's never ever an excuse for racism or domestic violence. If you know any man, woman, or child going through that crap, pick up the phone and ask for help, because no man, woman, or child should ever have to go through that garbage on their own. And as we always tell you on every Big C Sports show, we thank you, we appreciate you, and we hope that you have a super Super Bowl and a super fantastic day.